In just a moment, we'll get you more details on that breaking news story coming out of the Free State. 14 people having died in an accident that took place earlier today. In fact, perhaps we can get you those details now. Law enforcement authorities are now probing that crash which took place in the Free State, as I mentioned earlier on today. In fact, 3 more people, we're told, sustaining serious injuries. One of them minor injuries, however, or one other person, I beg your pardon, with minor injuries. According to authorities, the accident occurred between Ritz and Pietrustein, and it actually took place when a quantum Kombi was overtaking another vehicle, and that resulted in a head-on collision. For those details, let's bring in Sipho Towa, who is the Free State, who's with the EMS in the Free State, and he joins us via our video link. Sipho, thanks very much for making time, albeit under these circumstances. What are you able to tell us about the circumstances surrounding this accident?
Thank you very much. We received a call just before 1 a.m. this morning of a motor vehicle collision on the R57 between Pietrustein and Ritz. And on arrival, the crews, they found out it's a minibus and a midibus which collided head-on. And the other one had only the driver on board, and the other one had a driver and passengers, and they were en route to Lesotho. So unfortunately, 13 of them were declared dead on scene, where we counted 6 males and 7 females. And then 3 were rushed to the hospital. One who suffered serious injuries later succumbed to those injuries at the hospital, and which now took a tally to 14 fatalities from this accident.
Difficult to digest the situation, especially when you consider what might have been the objective of the people who were traveling in that vehicle. Is that a detail you've been able to ascertain yet, where these people were coming from, since you know now that they were headed to Lesotho?
Yeah, the info that we got from scene was they were from the Gauteng, and then they were traveling now to Lesotho to go and enjoy the festive holidays.
Sure. What's also troubling is, according to the statement from government, is that what took place is that one of the Kombis was actually trying to overtake another vehicle. Yeah,
the authorities are still establishing that because your factors like your road condition have been taken off, because the road where the accident occurred, the road is quite smooth. Your factors like weather, they also been scratched off. So those are the possibilities that they're looking at. It's either the overtaking or fatigue. So they just finalizing that as the law enforcement agencies.
Yeah. Have we been able to ascertain whether the 14 people who succumbed essentially to their injuries were related in any way?
Not yet. We haven't come to that yet.
Sure. There must have been people who have survived as well. In fact, we've already mentioned that there's one person at least with minor injuries. What information, if any, have you been able to ascertain from that individual about the moments leading up to this accident?
Look, by the time of the accident, he was still confused at scene and all that. So he's been taken to the hospital. I think the law enforcement authorities, they'll find him now in good spirit after going through some handling and also minor counseling. So they'll be able to get more information from him from this hospital.
Yeah, it does bring to the fore, of course, this long-standing issue around carnage on the country's roads during the festive season. An opportunity once again, sadly, at this tragic moment, to remind people to drive with extra caution, especially because something like this is not out of reach. These kind of accidents are avoidable, but are possible.
That's correct, yes. Hence, we always also encourage traveling to happen more during the day, because it's more safer. You can see clearly what is happening as well, and you are able to can take your breaks frequently. And you know, with the weather patterns that I've mentioned and also the road conditions, so during the day you know that you are subtracting those from risks that you are facing on the road.
Yeah. This accident aside, Sipho, what are you able to tell us around the kind of traffic activity that you've been able to see in the Free State so far, given where we are in the year?
We've seen quite a pickup, especially from the mornings from 6 a.m. and then just in the afternoon it started dripping down, where you'll find that at the N1 we're going through a traffic of about 1,200 vehicles per hour. And then on the N3 as well, which also runs to the Free State at 1,500, 1,700 per hour. But it's been quite smooth. The drivers, they've been behaving, because with the law enforcement as well, in terms of speed, we haven't had any of the high-profile speed traps that they've come up. So the drivers have been quite good. And I think it's also because of the curfew that they're traveling more during the day, which is what we actually always encourage.
Sipho Towa is with the EMS in the Free State. Sipho, once again, thanks very much indeed for your time. So there you have it, more details around this tragic breaking news. 14 people having succumbed to their injuries after being involved in a head-on collision in the Free State. It's an accident that took place earlier this morning. 14 people having died, 3 people with serious injuries, 1 other person with minor injuries, and police still continuing there with a probe into that accident. We'll get you those details once again as they continue to be confirmed.